And prelims is supposed to be one of the most toughest part of this exam, and people say that it is very difficult to clear this prelims part. But I would like to show with the series of videos which we are going to make that prelims is not difficult, rather it is very logical. In this particular video, I would like to discuss the question paper from Prelims 2012, because the Prelims 2012 was my first exam. I still remember the day. It was May 2012, and it was a very hot day, and I had not slept. I was very anxious. I was very afraid, scared of the million possible questions that they might ask. But in this prelims exam, in this prelims 2012, I was able to score 67 net. That is, I marked 87 questions. From these 87 questions, I could get 72 correct and 15 wrong. From these 87 questions, I was able to get 72 questions correct, 15 wrong, and I hence a net cutoff of 67. But we might think that the 72 questions are very difficult to write, and hence prelims is very difficult and it is not possible to clear. But that is not true. That is very much not true, because this exam, I would like to show with this uh, video that these 72 questions are not difficult, rather they are very logical. I would like to show how logic works in this exam. And the second part is that these 72 questions have nearly 40 easy questions. Our purpose of this exam is not to score the complete 100 questions, or it is not the purpose of this exam to know all the 100 questions. Rather, it is our purpose to clear the cutoff. And clearing the cutoff requires a little bit of logic and the smart work of finding these easier questions and to solve them. So in this subsequent video, we'll go into and solve these 40 questions, or I will show you how to find these 40 questions. So this is the first question I want to see. This question is supposed to be very easy, in the sense that you see these two statements are mostly correct, but the logic lies in this question. See here, license or mining of any mineral, that is gram can, for example, the logic that I applied on that day, can the Gram Sabha grant uranium as a license? It can never do that, or it cannot do for iron ore, or it cannot do for major minerals. It is called as major minerals and minor minerals. But what they have given is any mineral, and Gram Sabha is not given the right to grant license for any mineral, or recommendations also cannot be given for any mineral. And hence, if you remove three, see this, if you remove three, it these two things goes out, and the answer is, so answer will be B. So 1 and 2 are actually correct. So first, this is, as I told you, I promised you to find 40 questions, 40 easy questions. So this is the first question. Next question. See, next question is also Parliament of India adjournment motion. This is a direct question. What is adjournment motion? Is allow a discussion. It is a very direct question. From answer is A. So you adjourn for adjourn the parliament, or adjourn the parliament for having some urgent discussion. First two questions itself are very easy. So we have found two questions out of 40. This is a tricky question. Actually, this is a tricky question. I found it easy, but if you see, this is true. National Biodiversity Authority. This is true. It checks biopiracy, and also application for resources cannot be made. It is true. National Biodiversity Authority has a say in this. But here comes the point. Supervises the scientific research on genetic modified crops. Actually, there is a there is one other organization, Genetic Engineering Committee. So this is a tough, it is a logical question, but on the day I had this correct. Uh, uh, but when you remove two, actually it is not National Biodiversity Authority. The authority concerned with the genetic crops is Genetic Engineering Committee under Ministry of Environment and Forest. So if you see two, if you remove this two, these two options are left, and answer is this. But I would not use the sense that I said that I would find the 40 easy questions, but this is not an easy question. This is a little bit of tough question. Let us leave that. So in 40, we have found two. The next question will go. And this is C. This is a very direct question. NGT, National Green Tribunals. National Green Tribunal obviously is passed because of Article 21, that is right to life and liberty. The right to life has been expanded in a larger fashion, and hence NGT or Article 21 also has clean environment, clean elections, clean governance, all these things, secularism, federalism, many other things have been included in Article 21, and the clean environment NGT has been constructed. It is not Article 275, not never it can be there, and it is not true for Gram Sabha also, and hence the answer is. And the most interesting part was I have a friend called as Rijesh. He is working in RBA. Actually, you can take this 2012 economic survey had in the first chapter this whole line NGT constituted under Article 21 was given in the first chapter, and I very well remember my friend who is in RBA. He came and he was like, "This is an important question which is going to come this year." He predicted the question. We were first timers, but it was him that he predicted many questions on that day, and we both wrote on the same hall, the same examination center. So after finishing this paper, when we came out, I could see the excitement in the eyes of my friend. He was so happy that the question C, the question which we studied in the economic survey has come. So that is how much preparation which needs, or that is how much preparation we have to do in order to clear this prelims exam. So going to the next question. See, out of the 40 questions, we have found three. We have found out three. Next question will. So in this national water mission, if you see, it seems like a very big question. It's a very big question. But if you read each and every part, this seems it's true. It's true. But come to this part, all rivers. This is about linkage of rivers. Linkage of rivers. It is talking about national water mission. Linkage of rivers has in a policy decision itself, they have never, or they have not even considered that fact that the linkage of rivers has to be done, and there is never a policy taken in this regard, or in a larger fashion. Maybe small rivers can be linked, but in a larger fashion they have not considered this as an option, and for national water mission this will definitely not come. So if you remove this, see this, if you remove this, these two options go away. These two options go away, and if you read 1 and 2, this actually is true. 1 and 2 both are true. So out of the 40 questions, so see, 4 questions we have found. 40 easy questions. The primary motive of this exam should be to find these easier questions to solve. It is not that we have to solve the difficult question. As I said, in this paper, I had 13 questions which were very difficult and I left them. I chose the questions which were difficult also. So in the 40 questions also I will show you, and the 13 questions which were difficult also I will show you. So how it is, this exam is, or the logic of this exam is to solve the easier question, and you should also know which questions to leave. So these are important things in prelims. So the next question is this question. So this question is an easy question. This is a very, very easy question, but I made a mistake. So I want to show what was the mistake. In this is how I have prepared the slides in a way that this is how I saw these questions. That is, this portion was in one paper. Then I had to turn the paper to come to this part. So what I did was, on that day, as I said, I was very anxious. I was very I was a first timer. It was a tough day. On that moment, it is an easy question. So directive principle. I read this directive principle. Securing, this is true. All these are directive principles. Securing, true. This is cottage, true. Everything true. Then I immediately went here and I marked, because I read the question in the first part. Then I moved. I turned the paper to the second part. It was given the second part, or the next page. It was given. I didn't read this part, Gandhian principles. If you had read that Gandhian principles, we would know that this does not come. This does not come. So when you remove this one, see this, only one answer is there. This was a very easy question. This was a very easy question which I made a mistake. But this is an easy question, right? 540. This is an easy question, but these things does happen in UPSC. And then there is this question. It is you can this it can be said as an it's a logical question where we have to apply a little bit of our mind. This is not a direct question. So our purpose is to find the 40 questions. I'll show you the 40 questions. And this actually is also one very interesting fact, is that this is a very logical question. If you see, this is true. So in the case of Consumer Rights Act, this is true, and this is also true. But I made a mistake here also. I chose actually one, two, three. I chose this as true as well. But this is a wrong. Why? Because I remember very clearly the next day, one of my other friend, Sudhakaran, he's in Indian Railway Traffic Service. He said a very important logic. See this, he asked me to read this line. No fee. We actually pay 10 rupees or 15 rupees for Right to Information Act. We pay fees for tolls, or we pay fees for even the smallest of small things. And a Consumer Rights Act or Consumer Rights case is a very big thing. So if you have to have this procedure done, then something has to be, some fee has to be there. So how can we say that we should not give any fee? And hence the statement is wrong, he said. Even today I remember the logic he said, but it is a very important logic, because we will not be able to read all the acts which are being passed by the government. It is not necessary, or it is not possible at all to know all the acts. But it is very much possible to know the logic. But this does not come in the 40 questions I promised. We have seen 5 questions. Then next comes this question. See, this is a direct Lakshmikant question. It is about the Lok Sabha Speaker, and you should know that Lok Sabha Speaker does not is present in the pleasure of the President. That is, Lok Sabha Speaker or Lok Sabha Speaker is a member of the Parliament. When the member of the Parliament is chosen as the Speaker, it is not under the pleasure of the President. He or she is present for the 5 years. This is definitely wrong. So when you remove this, see this, this two goes away. This two goes away. Then comes here, if he intends to resign, yes, it is addressed to the Deputy Speaker. It is a direct prelims Parliament question. So 6 question out of 40. Then comes this. This is also a direct. All these constitutional questions were easy that day. And if you see what is original jurisdiction of Supreme Court, Lakshmikant direct question, dispute between government of one or more state. It is not this. This goes to High Court, and then it comes to Supreme Court. That is, any problem in the election commission, or election process, first goes to High Court, then comes to the Supreme Court. This is not true. So when you remove these two, this two goes away. So either this or this. And in this, if you see, dispute between government of India and Union Territory does not have to have any dispute at all, because Union Territory is overall monitored by the government of India, and hence it is answer 1 and 4. And hence, if you see, we have come 7 questions. So 7 questions in 40. We have found the 7 questions in 40. And this, if you see, this is a, we'll come to this maybe in the next video. This is a difficult question. Or this is a logical, this is a difficult question. And this also, you may see biomass gasification. It requires a little application of mind. So leave this also seems a little tough, or I couldn't. There was a tussle between it. Next come this question. See this question. It's a very beautiful logical question. Graphene actually, graphene had gotten Nobel Prize. Nobel Prize at that time. So graphene had got Nobel Prize at that time, and it was a one-dimensional. It is a very thin dimensional material, and if you see the whole the logic of all this lies in one word. Here comes the point. Made of silicon. If you read this carefully, it is actually made of carbon. Graphene got Nobel Prize because it is a carbon layer. And if you remove three, see this, I remove this three, I remove this three, and it directly comes the answer. Directly comes the answer. So, in this 40 questions, so in this 40 questions, so 8 questions we have found. So, see this, 8 questions we have found. Only one word if I find in that question paper. Graphene, it is not silicon, it is carbon. The whole thing comes alive. And then this is a little tough, and this is also a little tough. So reading this, you will know. And same way, this is a little tough. We'll come again. So again, this is actually easy. This is actually easy, but it needs a little bit of logic. If you see what they are talking about, let us leave all these things, but come here, antimatter. They are talking about matter, antimatter. When we are talking about matter, antimatter, it is pertaining to something which is considered inside the atom, and it does not have to do anything. It will make mineral prospecting or oil exploration easier. How this will be done, it is not true. So one, if you remove this, is gone. So whether this or this, so B or C. So it's a logical question, but anyways, it does not come under the 40 question we will see, but 8 question we have found. And this also is a little logical question. This also a little logical question, the redshift phenomena. But if you see, this does not come. If the space is expanding, and what evidence we have, if they are asking, so it does not concern with this asteroid. And if you remove this, we'll be coming to these two things, whether this or this. It is again. And then this is a little difficult question. This is a very difficult question. Ancient India, very difficult. Then comes this easier question. Now see this. Now this part is a very easy question. That is Buddhism and Jainism, the chapter on ancient India. uh, Avoidance of extremity. If you see, Jainism was about extreme penance. Buddhism was a middle path, but Jainism was about extreme penance actually. So if you remove this one, remove this, see this, see this, see this. You don't even have to read the other two options. The options are given to you right away. Only one point you should know. Jainism was actually, Buddhism was a kind of middle path, but the Jainism was always about extreme path, extremity. People used to even. And then comes this inclusive governance. It is very easy word. What is inclusive governance? If you see, uh, this this three is inclusive governance, midday meal scheme, government spending for everyone, or having district planning committees in Panchayat Raj. All this actually is a form of inclusive governance, but this does not come. So if you remove this one, the answer goes away. So it is 11. We have found 11 questions out of 40. And this is a very simple, direct question. Nagara, Dravida, Vesara. There is nothing in this question. See this three main architecture. Everyone who reads all these difficult culture questions, but this is a direct question. See, So then we have found 12, 12 questions out of 40. So we still have few more. So see this, why Congress, it's a direct question. Congress ministry resigned in 1939. If you see, could not form ministries. No, this is not true. Congress was there. This is not true. Emergence of this is not true. Widespread, no, at this time widespread communalism did not start. And if you see these three does not appropriate none of the above. Simple. This is a very simple question. So Congress ministries resigned because Britain participated in World War II without asking Congress. That was the reason. That was the basic reason. So when you know history, a little small reason was they resigned because of that. Without consulting the Congress, they were taken into war, and hence, if you see 13, we have found 13 out of the 40. And this is a tricky logical question. This does not come under the 40 question, but I will tell you. Asha, I marked actually 1, 2, 3, 4. I marked 1, 2, 3, 4, but this is a wrong. I marked it as wrong. This was a wrong for me because I thought all these are correct. But the same way, when I came out, I was asking or discussing these questions. ASHA workers are aid workers. They cannot deliver. They can aid delivery. They can aid delivery. So this is wrong. Answer is A. But I chose on that day. That is on that day, all these things does happen. So as I said in the 87 question, I was able to get 72 correct, 15 wrong. I made some mistakes. 15 wrong is acceptable. So we have to clear the cutoff. This question I marked I remember very clearly marking this wrong. And then this is kind of a logical question. Let us leave that because this is not true. It was introduced in 1909 itself. So when you remove this, I found it difficult. So I found it difficult between A and C, and these two options have A and C, but does not come into the 40 easy question. This question also I found it difficult. National Social Conference form. It was a difficult question for me. Let us leave that. This was actually little easy, but if you think that on the last day or the last day morning, that is on the Sunday morning, I what I usually do is I go through these modern spectrum tables, modern spectrum tables, because there are so many names, so many organizations, so many dates, so many papers, many things are there. It is not very easy to remember all these things. So on the day of the examination, if we go through the table, we'll be able to have the picture in our mind, not the name, picture in my mind. So the picture which I remembered was Peasants and Workers Party was started by someone else. So when I remove this, see this, three things goes away. Only one option. But I would not include this in the 40 question also. But this is how I marked. On the day of the examination, I saw the paper. I saw the paper on the morning, in the sense that I saw the spectrum on the morning. I remembered a picture where I saw Peasants and Workers Party was not the party which was responsible for Dr. Ambedkar was not the person who started that, and hence when I remove that, only one option is left. So we have come to 13 questions out of 40. Now come to this 30th question. So this is a direct constitution question. See, this is a direct empower, make laws stateless, and create. So it is a direct question in the sense that it is Rajya Sabha has this. This is a constitutional question. So that is what I said. This is a direct question. So we have come to 14 out of 40. 14 out of 40. 14 out of 40. And then this is C, National Rural Livelihood Mission. That is, it is a livelihood mission. So logic should say that it is a very small program. Anyone who has read yearbook would know that it's a small program. Large number of new manufacturing industries. It does not in any way say. If you remove this one, see this, the logic is here. This is why I said it is a logical exam. Only when you, in the sense, first, if you know that rural livelihood mission is for basic livelihoods, that is to empower the people in a smaller way. Large manufacturing, agri business centers, no, it does not envision. So, one, if you remove, this will go away. And so, 15 questions we have out of 40 questions, which I promised easier question, 15 we have come. Then comes this multi-dimensional index. So if you see, all these are correct, and this does not, budget deficit of a country is not in any way related to the poverty index. And same thing, if you see, same, see this. To remove all, you don't even have to know whether purchasing power parity is true or not. If you remove this, all goes away. Only one option is left. So 16. So in the sense that only one thing you have to remember, you have to know one basic fact to remove the things which are wrong. So 3 is blatantly wrong. Multi-poverty dimensional index, one anyone has read would know that it does not in any way concern with the budget deficit. When you remove budget deficit, it is gone. And this was a tricky question. Yes, this was not that easy question. We have come to 16 questions. We'll go here. And same way, this is also a very direct question. Manufacturing promote the growth of government of any recent policy. It was at that time national. It was a very big thing. Investment promotion zone, single window clearance. It was technology. So for improving the manufacturing, you have to have technology. You have to have single window system. You have to have investment promotion zones. It was a very big thing at that time, current affairs. So we have come to 17 questions. 17 questions. Then you can actually this, you can include this question also. If you see, all this will come, but this needs a little bit of time, and hence I am not taking it the easier question as I promised. See, this why Gandhiji undertook this fast? It is directly communal award. It's a direct question. Because of communal award in 1932, Gandhiji did fasting, and if you see, we have come to 18 questions. 18 out of 40. And this Rayat Wari, this is a logical question. It's not an easy question. But if you see, Rayat Wari, the rent was paid directly. This you should know. The Zamindari system was paid through the Zamindars, but Rayat Wari, they paid directly. This is true. And the lands were surveyed and assessed. This is also true. Whether pattas were given, this I was not sure on that day. I was not sure on that day. But if you see logic, this is true. This is true. There is no 1 and 3 in the answer. There is no 1 and 3 in the answer. That is, 1 is true, 3 is true. Logically, this is the answer because there is no 1 and 3. This is how I solved this question on that day, but I am not going to include this in the easier question. But if you see, I knew that the rent was paid directly. I knew that the land was assessed. These two things I knew was correct. I did not know whether patta was given. So I searched for an answer 1 and 3. There is no 1 and 3 in the answer at all. There is only 1, 2, 3. So I chose this answer. This is a very direct question. This is a very, very easy direct question. Demographic dividend. So first is high birth rate, high death rate. It is very simple. See this. High birth rate, high death rate. Then comes high birth rate, low death rate. So initially, then the second phase is the death rate goes down. So this is the answer. It's a very, very simple answer. So this is demographic dividend. The population, we study this. If you know, first it should be high birth rate, high death rate, then the death rate goes low. Then the next phase is low birth rate, low death rate. So it is 1940. So we have come to 1940. And this is a little tough question. So this is a little tough question. And this is also was a very hot, heated topic on that day during education. The directive principle has urban local body has seventh schedule does have that is a division of powers between center and state. But actually, I marked all these things 1, 2, 3, all these things. But there is also another option 1, 2, 5. So some people, some keys have said that these two are not true. It was a very big debate at that day, but we are not going to include that in the 40 question, I promise. This was a tough question. I actually left this question. So 13 questions I left. In that, this was one question. I left this question. I see Bhaktan, I didn't have any idea. Then this was a very easy question, but I made a very simple, very silly mistake. The mixed cropping is cultivate. This is the word. Mixed cropping is cultivation of two or more. So I chose this, but it is mixed farming. So answer is C. Answer is C, but it was a very easy question. Easy question. So 20 question. The first 20 questions out of the 40. The purpose of this making this video was to show you that this examination is not all tough or not all difficult. Rather, it is a very logical exam where we can, if we are able to use logic and find the easier questions of this paper or in every paper, we will be able to clear the cutoff very easily. So in the next video, we will see the next 20 questions. So thank you.